Hello, hello. Welcome to Equipped. Coach Matt. We're going to get you through some strength training today. Equipment wise, you really only need one weight. I do have a couple of different options here. One is a touch lighter. One's a good medium size all around weight. But we will put those to the side for right now, and we will get started with our warm up. We're going to get in a good half kneeling position, dropping one knee down. One foot is flat on the ground. We're going to start with getting those hips nice and open, so we're kind of pulling that belt buckle up, kind of posterior tilting our pelvis. So you should feel a nice good stretch through the front of your hips. Whatever knee is down, we're going to take that arm going straight up in the air. Should accentuate that stretch in the front of the hip. We're going to be actively reaching towards the ceiling. And so we're really working to extend that arm, fingertips reaching as high as you possibly can. Triceps are getting engaged, traps and shoulders are getting engaged as well. We're going to hold that up for another 5 seconds or so. Still stretching through that hip, good deep stretch. And go ahead and bring that arm down. That same arm that was up, we're going to take to the outside of that knee. And we're just going to get a nice little rotation. You can take that other hand out if you'd like to. Put a deeper rotation in that even still. And we'll bring that back around. We're going to do the same thing on that same side one more time. We're going to get that hip nice and engaged. Good stretch. We're reaching up. Big long reach. Reaching straight up to the ceiling. Hold there for another 5 seconds. And we'll slowly bring that down. Same hand to the outside of that knee. Pull yourself around. Nice little spinal twist. If you can, get that head rotating all the way to the back, even better. As we're pressing into that knee is pressing back into that hand. Holding there for the last couple seconds. And go ahead and relax. Go ahead and switch knees. Alright, so pelvis is tilted. Alright, pulling that nice and tight. You should feel that glute kind of turn on, pushing that hip forward. Whatever knee is down, that same arm, we're going to reach straight up in the air. Sitting up nice and tall, big, long reach. We'll hold a little bit longer this first time. Getting you primed to lift some weight up overhead, stabilizing that hip and lower body as well. Same hand that was above, take the outside of that knee. Remember, we're engaging into that hand with that knee, and we're rotating around. Breathing through that twist, still accentuating that reach of that upper body, reaching that head towards the ceiling. You go ahead and bring that back around. Same time, or same side, one more time. Reaching that up. Create that length from those fingertips down through the knee that's in the ground. Big long reach here. And then we'll bring that to the outside of that knee. Push it over. All right, we're going to stand up. We're going to work a little bit more activation work here. So we're going to go ahead and get our squat stance. We're going to sit those hips back into a very slow squat. So sitting back and sitting down, slowly lowering ourselves all the way down into a good deep squat. Once you hit that bottom, we're just going to hold. And then we're going to slowly bring ourselves up out of that. So just kind of feeling the ground underneath us, feel how that body is kind of coordinating from that top to the bottom. Go ahead and push those hips back and sit it down once more. Slowly lower, see if you can go even slower this time around. Pay attention to what those knees are doing, what those ankles are doing, hips, shoulders, all that. Hold at the bottom. And slowly bring it back up. So one thing to really kind of be aware of, when we squat those knees, we want to be pushing those knees away on the way down and still pushing them away as we rise back up. Really get those glutes involved, prevent that collapsing of the knees and ankles. One more time, slowly lower. Very slow, eccentric, really driving those feet into the ground. Once you get to that bottom, you can hold. All right, hands either in that prayer position or straight out. Either one is totally fine. And then we will slowly lower ourselves back up. All right, feel good? Feel ready? Let's talk about a game plan for today. We kind of have two parts of today's workout, a little bit of strength training first. We've got three movements we're going to go through kind of slow motion all together first, and then we'll push forward from there. All right, so we're going to go ahead, drop into that same kind of half kneeling position that we warmed up with. So if you remember last week, we kind of worked on these transitions from the ground to a standing position, and today is no different. We're going to do those again, but what we're going to do differently this week is that last week we did contralateral, right? So my right hand was in the air pressing through my left foot, contra across. This year we're going to do ipsilaterals This week we're going to do ipsilateral, same side. So whatever foot is on the ground here, that arm is going to be the one that's up in the air. All right, so I have my left foot forward, my left arm up in the air. So we're going to get nice and strong. Just like we did in that warm-up, in that seated position, those hips are pulled up, driving those knuckles towards the ceiling, pressing through that foot to a stand. All right, same way, we're going to go back down on that same knee, in control, re-engage, stand it back up. Good, we're going to go one more on this side. Stand tall, re-engage, driving up, and back down. All right, we'll lower that. We're going to switch knees. We're going to switch arms. Get that foot first planted. All right, tucking that pelvis underneath, punch it up, step and stand. Good. Number 2. And last one here, driving up and relax. All right, second movement, this is going to be a windmill, which we have done before as well. If you have not, we'll walk through it together. So pick a hand, whichever hand, we're going to punch that weight straight up in the air. Those feet will be about hip width, maybe just a touch wider. All right, whatever hand is up in the air, we're going to go ahead and poke those hips out towards that side. All right, then we're going to take those eyes, look up at that weight. All right, opposite hand is going to track the inside of my leg, hinging into a nice, good triangle pose here. As far as you can go down, then we're going to hinge it back up. All right, a few things to be aware of on this is that those hips, again, cheat them out. Should feel a nice stretch to that opposing side. Keep looking up at that weight. Bring it back up. In control here. One more time. Hinge those hips out. Sliding down. Keep looking up. And bring it back up. All right, 3 down. Let's switch to the other side. All right, hips are going to go tilting the other way. Sliding down that leg. Trying to shoot for the inside of that leg. Let's keep that balance a little bit more centered. And make sure we don't rush our way up or rush our way down, right? Good, slow. That's when we do those eccentric squats in that beginning, right? We're just working on that control through that movement. All right, hips up, rep number 3 here. And lift that up. Good. All right, we're gonna go back scat kneeling. We're gonna go probably 2 more times around on this one. All right, so whichever knee is up, we're gonna drive that knee or that arm straight up in the air, pushing through that foot into that stand. So when we drop into that kneeling position, think about that kind of as like a reverse lunge. You're gonna slowly lower yourself down, just getting that knee nice and light on the ground. Once you got your 3, we'll switch hands, switch feet, punch it up, step and drive. So big key, what we're looking for here is that control. So we're not slamming that knee down. We're able to drive through that front foot on the up. We have one more here, big press up.
And there's our 3. All right, going to those windmills. This time around, I'm going to show you from the side. What we're looking at is for that body to stay going laterally, left to right. We're trying to avoid any forward or backwards movement. So we're really going to push those hips out to the side. Think about there's a nice solid wall in front of us, nice solid wall behind us, and make sure that we don't touch either of those walls. All right, number 3 on this side. And certainly feel that side opening up a little bit more than that first round. Those obliques definitely need some stretching. All right, going up to that other hand. I'm going to bring that down. Again, that reach on that down, I want you to just go as far as you're comfortable going. All right, I don't want you to force it if you can't quite get all the way to the ground. Maybe you're to mid-shin, and maybe that's about it. Maybe you're to the knee. That's fine. I want you to focus on get to where you can get to. We're just working on bettering ourselves each round. All right. Speaking of, we got one more time on this side, on these 2 movements. Against that kneeling position. So this is our last time here. I want us to really focus on that press in that front foot. So in this drive, almost kind of shifting that weight forward, driving through that whole front foot, and think about it as more of a kind of a single leg stand. All right, single leg lowering. That back foot is there for balance, but should not be doing any sort of majority of the work. Slow on the way up, and slow on the way back down. Once you get your 3, flip it over. Strong press. Make sure that elbow is fully extended, all right? Make sure we're not getting here, all right? Big punch straight up. Driving through that front foot in control. One leg doing the work on the way up. One leg doing the work on the way down. We got one more this side. And back down. All right. We're going to go to our 3rd set of windmills. Punch this up nice and tall. See if we can get just a little bit more control both on that down and on that way back up. Try not to run through it. If we kind of work to move quickly on this one, we kind of skip some of those very important positions. Sometimes the slower we go, the harder the movement. So 3 on each. We'll go ahead and switch it over. And again, keep those eyes looking upwards. I know it seems trivial, but that's going to allow that chest to rotate, that torso to open, to accommodate for that extra space on that down. Keep pressing up, reaching down. All right. Once we get those 3, we can take a quick little break. We're going to shift gears. We have a little bit of an EMOM here, so we're going to do 8 minutes. First minute we're going to do on one side, second minute we're going to do on the other side. Okay? So we'll end up doing 4 on each side. This movement can be, this rule flow can be done with the kettlebell or with the dumbbell. I'm just going to use my kettlebell, which is a little bit heavier. So it's going to be 2 of each of these movements: swings, cleans, push press, snatch. All right. So what it's going to look like? We're going to start off with whichever hand you want. It's going to be 2 swings. 1, 2. We're going to go into cleans, pulling right into that shoulder. 2 reps. 2 push press, driving up, and then we have 2 snatches all the way to the ground, pulling up to above head, and from that ground to that overhead in 1 clean, smooth movement, and then we're back done. Okay, so 2 swings, 2 cleans, 2 push press, 2 snatch. All of that in 1 minute. All right. Then you have the rest of the minute to rest, and then we'll do the same on the other side. Make sense? If not quite, first couple rounds, you'll definitely kind of get a feel for it. So we're gonna get started in about 20 seconds. So we'll be right on the clock here. If you need to, if your weight is a little bit lighter, it's not quite as challenging as you like it to, feel free to add another rep or 2 to each of those movements as well. Or if you got something real heavy, you can take one out or just move a little bit more slowly. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. We'll do the first couple a little bit more slowly so we can kind of figure out how to do this. So we're going to start with those swings. So 2 good swings, right into 2 cleans, going from those hips to the shoulders. Gets that shoulder, you got 2 good push press, finishing strong up overhead, and to the ground, overhead for that snatch. There's 1, there's 2, and back down. All right, so we're just going to stay on the one arm. So there's about 30 seconds, which gives us about 30 seconds of rest. I know it may seem like a lot this first couple rounds, but as we start stacking it up, it's going to be more and more lovely as we get there, all right? So in about 15 seconds, we'll start again, moving to your other arm, okay? So I'll start with my left arm. So I'm going to do my right arm this time. We're ready in 3, 2, 1, go. 2 swings to 2 cleans. Be strong in those movements. 2 push press. 2 snatch. And down and rest. Cool. So a few things to kind of be on the lookout for. I'm not going to give you all the advice all at one time. So we're just going to talk about one movement at a time. So we're going to talk about those swings first, as we have our 20 more seconds of rest. Our swings, we're going to try to get that kettlebell to start a little bit out from us. That's going to give us that momentum that we're able to pull it in to start that swing. So a good strong pull in is going to meet a good strong push out through those hips. All right, so remember, a swing is a hip movement, hip dominant push. All right, so drive those hips forward on that swing. All right, get ready in 3, 2, 1, go. 2 swings, 2 cleans, 2 push press, big drive up overhead, and 2 snatch from the ground. Really punching the ceiling as we get that snatch and rest. All right. So talking about swings, like I said, really big hip dominant movement on those swings. When we go to those cleans, thinking about it very similarly to that swing, it's still a hip dominant movement. You may be tempted to just kind of pull it up, but really you want to be working on driving those hips. So just as a kettlebell swing is, think about kind of a horizontal hip drive, right? Think about the clean as more of a vertical drive, all right? Kind of pulling, or almost like you're jumping up with it. All right, let's go for that next round. 2 swings, 2 cleans, 2 push press, into those snatches. Big hip drive, thinking about jumping up with that weight, and punching the ceiling at the top. And we'll rest. Hopefully you're feeling pretty warmed up now. We're about halfway there. We got 4 down, 4 to go. Should have done 2 each side here, okay? So swings, cleans, both good hip dominant movements. Same thing as the snatch. The snatch is just a clean, just with a little bit more extension on it, okay? As you're pulling that clean to that shoulder, that snatch you're pulling through the shoulder, punching this guy to finish strong. All right, let's go round number 5. Should be that first side, 2 swings, 2 cleans, 2 push press, into snatch. Big hips on that. Try not to do it all with your arms. All right. May have a couple of you asking what to do with that other arm. So I like to keep my arm real nice and close, make it kind of part of my center of gravity, so that way I'm not compensating, sticking that arm out, doing some weird kind of balance. I want my core to activate when I'm single side loaded, right? When that weight's over my left shoulder or something, I want my right obliques to kind of fire up to keep me nice and balanced. All right, so I don't like over accentuate one side or the other. Okay, let's get back to our little set here. Next round, 2 swings, 2 cleans. Two push press, 2 snatch. Strong in that core as we go up overhead. Big punch on that snatch. Big pull, big punch. All right, we got 2 rounds left, 1 each side. We're gonna finish real strong here, all right? So push press that I intentionally didn't give a lot of instruction to. We've done a lot of pressing over the past year, and both in equipped and other classes. Excuse me. Think about anytime overhead, biggest cue is just that core. Just make sure that we're not overcompensating in that low back. All right, we're pulling those abs nice and tight, be able to get straight up overhead. All right, that's the biggest thing on that. Let's go ahead, first side, last time, 2 swings to cleans, press into our snatch. Big pull, big push. And we'll bring it down. All right, let's gear up for our final round here. Ooh, my heart rate's up a little bit. How you doing over there? You break out the big weights. Working on some, maybe added a couple of extra reps to that. I applaud you for that. Good job. We got about 5 more seconds. We'll do our final side, and then we'll finish up for the evening. All right, ready in 2, 1, 2 swings. Clean. Big press. And snatch. Big pull and punch. And we'll bring that down. All right, give you a couple extra seconds to finish that up. Then we're just going to do a quick breath at the end here. All right, we're going to take a good 5-second inhale as we finish, sweeping those arms up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and breathe. Roll it on up. We'll do one more time. 5, 2, 6. Breath in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it on up. All right, that's all we have for you, folks. Coach Matt, thank you for joining me for Equipped. We'll be right back with Strength Flow if you're sticking around. Otherwise, hope you have a great evening, and we will see you tomorrow.